In this video, we take a look at the latest excerpt news. Will excerpt be able to fly to the moon? Write answers in the comments. The tweet on X included a photo of garlinghouse standing in front of the SEC headquarters, along with the remark Gensler did not invite them in. While in Washington, garlinghouse stated he had to snap a selfie in front of the SEC building. If you're wondering, no, Chair Gensler did not invite us in. This is the second issue between the SEC and Ripple Labs. The SEC has tried to overturn a judge's decision in Ripple's legal struggle. The SEC said in a court filing that the judge's finding raised complicated legal problems that required consideration by a federal appeals court before the matter could be resolved. Garlinghouse voiced his displeasure with the case and the SEC strategy in an interview with Bloomberg. He claimed that Ripple has already spent more than $100 million on the legal fight, underscoring the company's dissatisfaction with the process. In a Bloomberg interview, garlinghouse was questioned about Gensler's gloomy views on Bitcoin, and he answered, "Gary Gensler is a hammer, and everything looks like a nail." The regulatory crosshairs were drawn last year when Celsius Network, Voyager Digital, FTX, and other large firms went bankrupt, affecting millions of investors in an instant. Since then, investors, skeptics, and traders have hoped for the passage of a crypto-friendly regulation package. Ripple is riding high with its partial victory, and CEO Brad Garlinghouse decided it was the perfect moment to lead a group of top executives to Washington, D.C. for the high-stakes crypto bill with Congress. On July 13, 2023, U.S. District Judge Annalisa Torres issued a summary judgment order, essentially approving Ripple's commercial activities in the United States. The decision highlighted that the business did not violate U.S. securities law by distributing excerpt tokens through cryptocurrency exchanges. While the SEC seeks permission to appeal this ruling, a jury trial looms on the horizon, perhaps beginning in the second quarter of 2024. It allowed Ripple to re-enter the U.S. market. CEO Brad Garlinghouse is leading the conversations with Congress, along with important players such as Chief Legal Officer Stuart Alderoty and Vice President Rob Grant. Garlinghouse has emphasized the need of direct connection with political officials, noting can't get regulatory clarity without actually engaging with the elected officials who are proposing bills. However, the original draft to reshape how cryptocurrency assets are handled in the banking sector was roundly rejected by several Democrats on the committee. They feel the plan favors the crypto business too much, which might lead to financial concerns and fraud. However, we have witnessed a shift in sentiment with Senator Elizabeth Warren's recent Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act, which received support from 9 senators, raising concerns about the possible effect on Bitcoin and institutional engagement in the crypto market. Overall, Ripple's visit to Washington, D.C. represents a significant change in the company's approach to the U.S. market. Ripple's new look is fearless. Previously hampered by the SEC case, Ripple's dealings with US-based customers and partners were restricted. The victory has bolstered the company's morale, and they are eager to reclaim the market with a new vision and new policies. The amended Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act, as well as the Clarity for Payment Stablecoins Act of 2023, are among the important legislation under consideration. The latter measure is still gaining support from members of the United States Congress. Ripple, as the torchbearer in all crypto regulatory issues, will lead this conversation, opening the door to additional adoption in the horizon. In the aftermath of the landmark XRP verdict, the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has increased its attempts to pursue a mid-case appeal against Ripple. This legal case, which began in December 2020, is about whether Ripple violated securities laws by making XRP accessible to regular investors via several cryptocurrency exchanges. While the SEC has aggressively claimed that XRP is a security subject to federal securities laws, Ripple has long asserted that it is not. Ripple recently submitted a paper saying that the SEC had not made a convincing case for an appeal. However, the SEC's response, filed on Friday, September 8, emphasized the case's importance, stating that the issues raised by the recent ruling presented precisely the kinds of knotty legal problems that prompted Congress to provide for interlocutory review cases of the same nature. While interlocutory appeal should be the exception, not the rule, the SEC argued. The SEC's decision to appeal stems from Judge Annalisa Torres's July 13 ruling in the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York, in which she determined that while Ripple did violate federal securities law in its sale of XRP to institutional investors, the company did not violate federal securities law in its sale of XRP to retail investors. Meanwhile, in reaction to the recent SEC filing, Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderoty, shared his thoughts on the topic, stating, "Another SEC filing, another disingenuous shift. After years of its chairman declaring that the rules are clear and must be followed, the SEC now demands, and not to be followed, the SEC now demands it appeal to clarify these not illegal problems." Ripple's concern that the SEC's attitude has been inconsistent is highlighted in Alderoty's statement, highlighting the need for openness and clarity in the regulatory approach to the crypto industry. Nonetheless, the decision of this appeal request now lies with Judge Annalisa Torres, while the legal struggle between Ripple and the SEC continues. If she accepts the SEC's request, the case will be sent to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, where the whole crypto world will be waiting to see how this historic legal struggle plays out. According to ChatGPT, XRP has a chance of reaching a worth of $500.50 by 2024. While this figure is astronomical given its present market position, it highlights the potential that XRP has in the minds of its supporters. The model also speculated that if XRP achieves such a huge gain, it may overtake Bitcoin and Ethereum in terms of market value. Such a result would be unprecedented and have the potential to reshape the whole crypto ecosystem. It is important to stress, however, that this is simply speculative and should not be construed as financial advice. Regulatory actions, technical improvements, and market sentiment, among other things, might all have an impact on XRP's future. Having said that, the cryptocurrency industry has always been full of surprises. While XRP has several difficulties, from continuing legal disputes to mainstream adoption, its proponents remain hopeful. Ripple's president, Monica Long, has stated the company's desire to defend the litigation to the finish, as it now stands between Ripple and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, CCDC. Together with other crypto businesses like Binance and Coinbase, Ripple is seeking regulatory clarity and rules for the crypto sector. Therefore, its decision to challenge the SEC's regulatory approach makes sense. Despite the difficulties, Ripple is determined to prove the SEC's duplicity and pursue growth in international markets. Ripple President Monica Long recently spoke with CNBC, where she reiterated the company's commitment to its ongoing legal battle with the SEC. After declaring their intention to see the lawsuit through, long and forcefully, "We are planning to continue to fight the case all the way through." Almost 3 years have passed in the court fight between Ripple Labs and the SEC. Although institutional sales of XRP are deemed investment contracts, Judge Torres determined that programmatic sales of the cryptocurrency are not securities, marking a partial success for Ripple. The court specifically said that XRP itself is not a security, which is noteworthy. Despite the partial victory, the SEC is appealing the order through interlocutory appeal, arguing that XRP should be categorized as a security according to the Howey test. The SEC has been condemned for being inconsistent and biased by federal courts. Monica Long said that the decision helped provide crypto sector some clarity and allowed Ripple to develop internationally. As it prepares for the trial in 2024, the firm hopes to demonstrate what it sees as the SEC's hypocrisy. In that action, "We also obtained some answers," Long said. The judge's ruling in that case made it quite obvious that XRP itself is not a security, which allows us to more freely develop our company both in the United States and throughout the world. As market volatility increased, XRP prices dropped below the crucial 50-cent support level. According to CoinMarketCap, the value of one Bitcoin has dropped by nearly 40 over the previous week to 4,808 cents. Monica Long, president of Ripple, has vowed to defend the SEC litigation to the very end. Despite XRP's price fluctuations and market uncertainty, Ripple is pressing on with international development plans. Despite the ongoing legal struggle and the crypto industry's need for regulatory clarification, Ripple is unfazed and committed to proving the SEC's claimed double standards. Despite the difficulties that lie ahead, Ripple is dedicated to developing its international solutions and discovering fresh applications for XRP in the ever-changing digital asset market.